name's Don Schreiner. I am the fisheries specialist with Minnesota Sea Grant. However, I've only been here for the last couple years because I spent my entire career working with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources.
So my name is Tom Berry, and I work here at Minnesota Sea Grant. My title is Resiliency Specialist, and really what that means is I work on climate adaptation and climate mitigation projects, primarily in Duluth and the North Shore.
We're here today to talk about climate change and the effects on fisheries. And before I get started on some of the nitty-gritty, I just want to point out that climate change is extremely complex.
What they're seeing. And over time, because we know climate is weather over time, so certainly I'm talking to a lot of folks up and down the shore that are really concerned about this trend of our warmer winters, and especially that overnight temperature in the winter. I mean, we still have cold winter days, of course, but so it's not so much weather, it's that variability of our climate. We have a heritage of fishing and hunting in northern Minnesota, and fishing opener and fishing events are also very culturally oriented, and so people tend to have a real sense of what happens when, what to expect in May and in June and throughout the fishing season. I've talked to a lot of people about ice fishing and about how the uncertainty of the ice, or less certainty, or places that were kind of the standard spot as of first week of January, and now questions about safety and risk management are coming into the decisions about access.
This is more of a wintertime phenomena, as we've seen less ice formation. I worked on the lake for about 25 years, and when I first got here, we seemed to have fishable ice about once every 3 or 4 years. And I'd say in the last 10 years, we maybe had fishable ice about 1 year.
We don't want rain in December. We don't want rain in January. We don't want rain in February. And when we get it in those months, it not only creates havoc on our roads and sort of public safety as we move around Grand Marais or Two Harbors or Duluth, but then these recreation professionals that are trying to provide good cross-country ski trails, or folks who are promoting snowmobiling or promoting other winter outdoor activities, all of a sudden it throws their work into disarray, and it's really challenging for them.
We've had a lot of rain events, some of these catastrophic events that have occurred, turned the entire western arm from Two Harbors down into kind of a chocolate milk kind of consistency. And what that did is many anglers were not successful fishing in that sort of water because it affected the visibility, and these fish are sight feeders, lake trout mostly, and some of our salmon, Pacific salmon. And so what it did is it redistributed the angling pressure up the shore, up into the Two Harbors area, and really more along the Minnesota shoreline than the Wisconsin shoreline, where folks would be traditionally fishing.
I've shared some examples of how people are experiencing them, or how they factor in how people think about climate on the North Shore. But another generalized one is, I think, a growing anxiety, a uncertainty that leads to distress. And that can happen on many levels. It can happen folks who make their living on the land, And so changes in our climate have a direct impact on resources they're working with, whether it's fisheries or forests or agriculture, so that there's a real stress related to that uncertainty about their economic livelihood. And I think that there's a great deal of fear about loss. These things that people love to do, these things that define who people are. And so when we start to lose that identity, then it creates a distress.